Hey everyone, what is up? How are you doing? Let's talk about Sofi. This is huge. Good morning here. I'm releasing this video in the morning here, but some massive news. And we knew this was coming, but it's even better than what we thought. So I try to break this down bullet points so you understand what's going on. If you own Sofi stock, this is a huge pivot moment in time for you as an investor with them and what's coming here. This is huge, and I'm gonna explain why. I even want to watch a little bit of a video of what Anthony said, the CEO, but so he breaks it down a lot better than what I'm gonna be able to tell you in scratch language. But first things first. So Sofi here released quarterlies, fantastic quarterlies. We're about $50 million short of $1 billion revenue in quarterlies. Obviously per quarterly, that's more than likely going to show up here in this fourth quarter. Not to mention with what the news has just been released with this crypto situation, which it's great. It's fantastic. So essentially bullet point basis of what's going on here before we watch a little bit of this video. You can now buy crypto through Sofi. There are certain selected ones, and right now I think it's Solana, it's Ethereum, and Bitcoin, and they're going to add more too. And if you already have an account with them, especially pre-existing account, you're going to be able to do that better. And they're also going to do some other things. I'm gonna save it for the video here, but with Anthony. But this is huge. Now, if you're going like, why is this such a big deal? This is a big deal because Sofi is the first bank where you're able to, a real institutional bank where you're able to buy crypto through them. And I've said this before. I'm so biased with Sofi because I use them for a banking system. I do a lot with them. I even buy stocks through them. When you download the Sofi app, you have everything on that app. I cannot tell you enough. Like, I don't work for them, but I swear they should put me on payroll because I've told so many people and signed so many people up with them because really, they're fantastic what they offer. And if you invest in them, like, as soon as you download, make an account with them, you're like, oh my God, like, I get why they're doing so well with the younger generation, why they're growing so much. Like, it makes so much sense now when you can actually see what's going on. You're like, oh my God. So with that, now they're supplying crypto. Now you can do it. You can do this. One reason why this is very interesting, and here's the conversation pivot moment in time here. Okay, Robinhood released their quarterlies last week. Okay, Robinhood came out with this beautiful, massive quarterly, well over $1 billion. But in that, Robinhood said, "Hey, this." Around $300 million portion of that little tick right there to get them over that $1 billion hump, that came in through crypto trades. They did so hot on crypto trades, like I think it was like it was a ton. I can't remember offhand. I kind of just watched the video. I just want to process this out of my head right now, but it's a ton. It was a ton of trades that they processed with crypto. Well, that made them a lot of money, and they put that out there. They said this was the biggest portion we've ever had of this. Fantastic, great. That got them on that threshold, past that threshold where they need to be. Okay, fantastic. So, man, this is why I've been saying Sofi could pass Robinhood in finances very fast. This is looking more like this is going to happen. This is why two things. Sofi can run up in price real fast. Second, by summer, maybe even sooner than that, it's really going to, by Q2 here, we're going to have a better understanding of where both of them are going to be by the summer. That Sofi could just like run past Robinhood in revenue. There is no doubt, especially now. With Robinhood, you're seeing that. Now, obviously, people go to Robinhood to trade. That's understandable. So for the person writing that in the comment, I totally get that. That's 100% true. But you're going to have people that start trading crypto, buying crypto with Sofi, no doubt about it. So this is a whole nother stream of revenue coming in now. It's fantastic, and it's money just going into their bank here. This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. Now, I've said this every day here, but Sofi undoubtedly, and is just a dog on a leash that's trying to run away right now. I mean, it is trying so hard to get to a $35 to $40 position. And I think it's just a matter of time before it gets. It's not like, I don't think there's a lot of us going like, man, I wonder one day if we'll ever hit 40, $50. Of course, we're going to see that. I do think once, even if it takes to this last quarterly coming out Q4, in January, if it takes us getting to that point in time for us to finally see $1 billion plus quarterly with SoFi, well, then that may be what it takes for it to really do some running here. But I think the juice will be worth the squeeze in that weight too. So this is big, man. This is like, I really, you have to understand how big this is. That SoFi is like the first legitimate bank to do this. And this is why we've been, everyone, if you've been obsessed with SoFi and, this is such just this it's really interesting because this is such the skeleton of what SoFi is. Technology pushing into a futuristic banking system of who and what they are and who they're going after. They're going after younger generation. Younger generation loves crypto, and I definitely think we're going to see every year there's just going to be more and more of crypto talk, more of crypto world, ETF, stuff like that. Crypto's not going anywhere. Obviously, it still comes and goes. It has its moments. And obviously, a lot of us are expecting there to be a crypto run here when the government opens back up, because if you look through the history of crypto, every time there's been a government shutdown, about 2 weeks to a month, there's always a run in crypto. That's a whole other story. I'm not trying to really talk about crypto, but just fair warn you right there. So with that, this couldn't come at a better time. This is absolutely amazing. Man, this is amazing. This is awesome. So let's listen to this video real fast with Anthony. I want him to explain this to you if you haven't caught this video. For you as an investor in SoFi, this is so important, and this is such a celebration of a day right now.
Much selection as they would like.
And what's the difference between going through you and going through Coinbase or going through Robinhood or somebody else?
Yeah, there's a couple of really big differences. First, we're a nationally chartered bank, which means we have the infrastructure, the processes, the financial conditions that provides the safeguards that a consumer would expect from a bank, which is going to allow us to scale responsibly. The second thing is, because we are a one-stop shop, you can do all your banking, checking, and savings at SoFi, your borrowing, and your investing, and now crypto. And one of the unique things about that is when you come to SoFi and fund your crypto investments, you'll fund them in a SoFi checking and savings account. That checking and savings account's deposits earn interest.
Say that again. You're going to fund it with crypto?
You're going to fund
your checking account.
You're going to fund your checking account with cash.
Okay.
And then when you buy Bitcoin or Solana or Ethereum, the money will come straight out of your checking and savings account. So when you're not putting cash to work, it's not sitting in an account that earns no interest, and it's not sitting in an account that's not insured. So the money will sit in an FDIC insured account. Up to $2 million is what we offer. And when you buy, it will instantly withdraw from that account and send it to the marketplace.
Okay, so here's a question. This seems novel in this moment. If we're sitting here a year from now, given this OCC decision and every other bank in this country, how novel will this ultimately be? Meaning, do you imagine Bank of America and JP Morgan and every bank, Wells Fargo, all the big banks and everybody else will be doing exactly this?
I don't. And a couple of reasons for that. We're the only digital one-stop shop. They do not offer the breadth of products that we offer across borrowing, saving, investing, protecting, and spending. So we have the ability to not just buy cryptocurrency, but we're now providing the ability to send payments internationally via the Lightning Network, which is a crypto network, and we'll add others to that.
Why can't they? Why can't some of these sort of more traditional legacy banks do the same thing?
They'll have to answer why. I fundamentally believe that we put the member at the center of that. What we do when we focus on these things that are activities to do with your money, not products. And so the SoFi Money account is an account that you can use for international remittance. You could use for self-serve wires. You can now use for crypto buying. You could use for paying friends via an email and Zelle. And so the whole idea is to leverage technology to make moving your money as easy as possible, but also doing all the other things you need to do to get your money right.
It's like almost 8-9 minutes, but it's a fantastic interview, and I think you should all listen to it. It really pumps you up. I mean, that's so great, man. That's so great. This is why I've been, and I haven't really got a lot of pushback from this. And not that I mind pushback, but I do like to see where people are at. That's the fun about trading. It's so great when you can, even if you don't have someone in your personal life that trades with you, this is why StockTwits and Webull and, boards like this are so important for investors, when you can go and just see what other people are believing. And I really do think there is a big army of a lot of us who think like Robinhood's had a great year. Robinhood has done great, but Robinhood is very bloated and fat at this point. And, is there a lot of meat left on the bone there? I imagine Robinhood will stay the price it's at for right now, as long as they can continue to, dish out this kind of money they've been doing. But I think a lot of attention is going to go to SoFi here. I really do believe that we're seeing just more proof in the pudding of what's going on here. And, essentially, I know I keep saying this, but the juice is going to be well worth the squeeze here with SoFi going in 2026. So, it's really interesting that we could be on the threshold of seeing SoFi becoming very expensive. Like, this could be a very expensive stock by this time next year. I mean, I think there's more. I think there's more room, depending on where the market's at next year. If we're still in this bull run of a market, obviously that's a huge if. That's, I know there's people arguing that right now, but if we're still in this kind of market up and down situation where we're at right now, and banks are still doing well, we've got more, who knows how many rate cuts more at that point, banks are doing well. SoFi, I mean, could it match where Robinhood is right now? Could it be past that? 5-6 years from now, depending on how aggressive, finances get with SoFi, are we talking about dividend be attached? Now, obviously, banks have to have a lot of wealth for a dividend to show up here. And who knows, it could, I'm just really pushing it out there, throwing that out there some time. But two, I definitely think next year there could definitely be an inclusion of the S&P 500. That would be amazing. I mean, that'd be great. This is fantastic. And obviously, this is why I know I've been saying this, like, other banks are not focused on crypto. That is such a problem. Now, I do, obviously I'm not going up against the CEO of SoFi, Anthony, here, but I do think that somewhere in the future they will have to. They will be forced to do something with crypto. The thing is, this is almost like a Tesla moment where you're seeing SoFi as a banking system push into this crypto that's been, I would say, a lot more accepted this year. If you've been in crypto for a few seasons here, you already know, like, crypto people are not taken seriously. And I say that as a crypto person. I love crypto. I don't talk about it, but I buy Ethereum, I buy Bitcoin, I buy XRP, Cardano. I buy it all the time. I store it away like a squirrel stores away nuts. But what I do think is going to happen here, it's much like a Tesla conversation where Tesla was focusing on this EV car market back in the day, and no one was taking it serious. Everyone was like, it'll never be anything. It's not going to, there's no way. People are never going to go after that. They're never going to put money in that. Well, by the time the EV market blew up, you saw all these other car makers go like, oh my God, like we need an electric car. And then everyone with $10 billion was starting this electric car company. You had Rivian. I mean, there's so friggin' many. It's unbelievable. And a lot of them have gone under. Some of them are still struggling, doing what they can. But at the end of the day, Tesla is still king. They're still doing the numbers. They're still reeling in here. So that may be a terrible analogy, but what I'm trying to say is that, SoFi is owned to something before the other big banks who have the funds, who have the time and money, but they're just not doing it because for whatever reason. But they will. I imagine, as crypto continues to grow here, as we start to hear about crypto ETFs, things like this, I imagine somewhere down the line, they're going to do something. So, and there's already been like conversations about that, but I think Anthony is just kind of focusing on SoFi and what they're doing. So, yeah, I mean, I really don't have any much more to say than that. SoFi is obviously, like I said, it's trying to get loose here from this leash that it's on at $30. I think it's just a matter of time here. It really is. But be happy, man. This is so encouraging. Even if like you're not into crypto, I wanna encourage you, and I want to tell you this is fantastic. Like, this is great. That's why I just told you what happened with Robinhood. So if you don't invest in Robinhood, that's fine. But why I told you that is because if you don't invest in Robinhood and that you missed like the quarterly with Robinhood, that happens. Robinhood even said like, a large chunk of that money to put us over the threshold of $1 billion came from crypto trades because crypto has been so hot here the past 3-4 months. So with that, I'm not saying that SoFi is going to make another $300,000 like Robinhood did here just last quarter, but I'm saying it's going to be more money. It's going to be money that's coming out of nowhere in these next quarterlies, especially going into next year. I mean, listen, SoFi could be reeling out by Q1, Q2 like $1.5 billion quarterlies here. If they really get into where they can sell people on them making an account with them, into buying stocks with them and also buying crypto, it's a one-stop shop. It's literally the Walmart of banking. Just download the app. Download the app, set up an account, it's free. Boom, right there. Everything you want, it's free. There's no, it doesn't cost anything. You got $1, put $1. You don't have $1, it's okay. We don't need. This is why this company is growing so much. Like, it is unbelievable that people are not. If you're not seeing it, man, I'm trying to tell you here. This is not going to slow down. This is fantastic. So, like I said, if you're not into crypto, it's okay. But you need to know this is big. This is good, and this will be a pivotal moment for SoFi into the future when they've already pushed into something like this. This is really what this is they are trying to get ahead of the competition. They know this is going to do something very special for them in the coming decade. When the larger banks focus on this, SoFi is already going to have a concrete base for this, and they're already going to be in charge of it. This is so great. This is so great. Friends, I'm going to shut up, and I wish you all the best of luck today. Be happy, man. Celebrate. This is so great. So great, man. All right. Bye, everyone. Take care.